1. Introduction. My name is Samantha. I am 24 years old now. This is my story. It began when I was 23. At that time, my life was very simple. I lived in a small town, a quiet place. My days followed a routine. I woke up early, had breakfast, and walked to the small shop where I worked. I sold newspapers, magazines, and sweets. The customers were friendly. I knew most of them. We talked about the weather or the news. The work was not difficult, and the hours were regular. After work, I often met my friends. My best friend, Chloe, lived near me. We spent a lot of time together. We went for walks in the park, or sometimes we just sat and talked for hours about everything and nothing. We felt comfortable together. I also enjoyed quiet evenings at home. I liked reading books or watching my favorite television shows. I felt safe and happy in my simple world. There were no big surprises, no big worries. Life felt predictable and good. I thought this simple happiness would last forever. But life can change very fast. This story is about that change. It is a story about love, about meeting someone who seemed wonderful. It is a story about getting married. And it is a story about learning a very hard lesson. Sometimes, the most important lessons in life are the most painful. My lesson is about marrying too fast. I met a man named Samuel. Our story together started quickly, very quickly. I married him soon after we met. This decision was the beginning of the end for my simple, happy life. It brought difficulty and sadness. My story is a warning to others. It shows why it is important to take your time. It shows why you must truly know a person before you share your life with them. Before Samuel, my life was like a calm, shallow lake. After Samuel, it became a deep, dark ocean with big waves. I want to tell you everything that happened. I want to share the mistakes I made. I hope that by telling my story, I can help someone else. I hope I can stop someone from making the same choices. When I was 23, I was young and perhaps a little naive. I believed in dreams. My journey began when my quiet, simple life met a man who hid many secrets. The story of marrying too fast is the story of how my peaceful world was broken and how I had to find the strength to build a new one. It was the hardest thing I ever did. 2. I meet Samuel. I went to a party at my friend's house. There were many people there, laughing and talking loudly. That night, I met Samuel. When I saw him, I thought he was very handsome. He had a warm smile and kind eyes. He was easy to talk to, and he made jokes that made me laugh. He was very charming. He came and spoke to me for a long time. He told me that he thought I was beautiful. He made me feel like I was the most interesting person in the room. It was a wonderful feeling, like I was special. Samuel told me a little about his life and his work. He said he had a good job in the city. He also said that his job meant he traveled often to different places. He asked if he could have my phone number. I felt happy and excited, so I gave it to him. After the party, I could not stop thinking about Samuel. He called me the very next day. We talked for a long time on the phone. Soon, we went on our first date. It was lovely. Then we went on a second date and a third. We started dating very quickly. It felt like a whirlwind. Everything moved so fast. Every time we were together, Samuel was so nice and attentive. He often bought me beautiful flowers just because. He took me to very nice restaurants for dinner. We went for walks and talked for hours about everything. He always knew exactly the right things to say to make me feel happy and loved. He told me, "You are the woman of my dreams, Samantha." He made me feel like the most important person in his world. He started talking about our future together very soon after we met. He spoke about having children one day and buying a house where we could live happily. It felt like I was living in a beautiful dream. I was so happy and felt so lucky. I fell in love with Samuel very, very quickly. It happened in just a few weeks. It felt like true love, like the kind you read about in books or see in movies. My best friend is Chloe. She saw how quickly everything was happening between me and Samuel. She was worried about me. She talked to me one day. She said, "Samantha, please be careful with your heart." She told me that I did not really know Samuel well because we had only met recently. She said it was important to take more time before getting too serious with someone. But I did not listen to her warning. I was so happy with Samuel. I told Chloe that he was different from anyone I had ever met before. I told her he was perfect for me. I thought she did not understand how special our love was. I was sure that this was real and wonderful. I believed that I had found the right person for my life. I was so happy that I did not see any possible problems or listen to any doubts. 3. We get married. After only 2 months with Samuel, something big happened. It was very romantic. We were on a beautiful beach, and there was soft music playing. Samuel looked at me and smiled. He asked me to marry him. I was so surprised and so happy. Tears came to my eyes, but they were happy tears. I said yes immediately. I felt like I was in a dream. Samuel held me close on the beach. Samuel did not want to wait to get married. He said, "Why wait? We love each other very much." I agreed. I felt the same way. I thought, why wait for happiness? So we decided to have a wedding very quickly. We did not plan a big party. It was a small wedding. Only a few friends came to be with us. We chose a day soon after the proposal. The wedding was quick and simple. I wore a simple white dress. It was not fancy, but I felt beautiful in it. I felt like a princess in my simple white dress. Standing there with Samuel, I felt so much love and hope for the future. I thought this was the start of my happy life. I thought this was my happy ending. I became Mrs. Samantha Samuel's last name. I believed that my life with Samuel would be wonderful, like the fairy tales. I was so happy to be his wife. I did not think about anything bad. I only thought about our love and our future together. The small wedding felt perfect to me because it was just about me and Samuel and our love. We were married, and I was ready for our life to begin. 4. My happy home is not happy. Right after we got married, Samuel started to change. It happened quite fast, much faster than I expected. He was not the same man I married just a short time before. He spent a lot of time on his phone. When he talked on the phone, he often went into another room. He spoke very softly, so I could not hear his words. He told me his work was very busy now. He said he needed to travel more for his job, sometimes leaving for a day or two. He was not as sweet to me as he was before we married. Sometimes he got angry very quickly for small reasons that did not seem important at all. He seemed different, distant, and less loving. I felt confused by this sudden change. I thought maybe marriage was just hard at the beginning. I hoped that things would get better soon, that this was just a difficult time for us. Then, Samuel told me he needed money. He said he had a problem with his bank account for a short time. He asked me for money from my savings. He said it was for a very big business deal. He promised that if I gave him the money, we would get much more money back very soon. He said it was important for our future together, for buying a house one day. I wanted to help my husband. I trusted him completely. So I gave him some money from my savings account. It was a large part of what I had saved. But later, he asked for more money. And then he asked again. He kept asking for money, taking more and more of my savings. I did not have much money left after giving him these amounts. I started to feel really worried about it. Was this business deal real? Why did he need all my money? It did not feel right. My worry grew every day like a heavy cloud. One day I saw a message on Samuel's phone by accident. It was from a woman named Isabella. The message was short, but it made me feel very strange and uncomfortable. It said something like, "Miss you. When are you coming back?" I asked Samuel. "Who is Isabella?" Samuel's face became red. He got very angry very fast. He said, "She is just a client from work. Why are you looking at my phone? You do not trust me." He shouted these words at me. I felt bad for asking, like I had done something wrong. I said I was sorry. But inside my stomach, there was a hard knot. I felt that something was very wrong in my new life. My home was supposed to be happy. But now it did not feel happy anymore. I felt alone with my growing worry about Samuel and the money I had given him. The dream of a happy marriage was starting to feel like a big problem. I felt scared and unsure about my new husband. 5. A secret letter. One day, I got a letter in the mail. It was a simple white envelope. There was no name on the outside, no address of the person who sent it. I opened it slowly. My hands started to shake as I read the words inside. The letter was not long, but it said terrible things. It said Samuel was not who I thought he was. It said he was a liar. It said he was dangerous. It told me I needed to be careful. I felt very scared. My heart beat fast in my chest. I thought about the message I saw on Samuel's phone, the one from the woman named Isabella. I remembered how angry Samuel was when I asked about her. Now, after reading the letter, I felt I needed to know more. I went to my computer. I decided to look for Isabella online. I typed her name into a social media website. I searched for her. After a few minutes, I found a profile. It was Isabella. I looked at her pictures, then I saw him, Samuel. He was in many of her photos. They were together in different places. My stomach felt strange. I looked more closely. In one picture, Isabella was smiling. She was wearing a ring on her finger. It was a wedding ring. It looked like the ring Samuel wore. My breath stopped. Then I saw other photos on her page. Photos with a child, a little boy. He was in pictures with Isabella and Samuel. They looked like a family. Samuel was holding the boy in some pictures. They were smiling together. I looked at the photos again and again. My mind could not understand. Was this real? Was Samuel married to this woman? Was this little boy his son? The letter said he was a liar. The photos showed him with another woman, with a wedding ring, with a child. It felt like a bad dream. My hands were still shaking, but now it was not just from fear. It was from shock and a growing anger. The happy life I thought I had built with Samuel suddenly felt like it was breaking into pieces. 6. The truth is bad. Seeing the photos made me feel very sick. My stomach hurt and my hands shook. I looked closely at the pictures again and again on my phone. I saw Isabella smiling next to Samuel. I saw the little boy who looked so much like Samuel. And I saw the ring on Isabella's hand, the ring that looked like a wedding ring, like my ring. I thought, is this real? Is he married to her? Is that his son? My husband, Samuel, has another wife and a child. My head was spinning with terrible questions. My dream life felt like a bad dream now. I waited for Samuel to come home from his work meeting. I felt a mix of deep anger and a sadness I had never known before. I held my phone tightly, the photos burning on the screen. When Samuel finally came in, I could not speak normally. My voice was cold. I showed him the phone immediately. I put the photos of him with Isabella and the boy right in front of his face. My hands were shaking, but my voice was strong now. Who is this woman, Samuel? Who is this child? Tell me the truth right now. Samuel looked at the phone. His face lost all its color. He tried to smile, a weak, fake smile. He said quickly, "Oh, that. She is just an old friend, Samantha, from a long time ago before I met you. And the boy, he is her nephew, just a friend's child, nothing important. I knew deep inside that he was lying. His eyes did not look at mine. He looked at the floor, at the wall, anywhere but at me. My voice became loud and strong. "Stop lying, Samuel. I know you are lying. Look at me. Tell me the truth. Tell me everything." He stood there for a moment, quiet. Then his shoulders dropped. He looked down and started to speak. His voice was very quiet, almost a whisper. He told me the terrible truth. The truth was worse than anything I imagined. He said he was married to Isabella. Yes, married, for many years. The little boy in the photos was his son. Yes, his real son. He said he married me, Samantha, because he needed money. He needed money for Isabella and their son. His business trips and business deals were all lies. All of it was just a plan to take my savings. He needed my money because he had big financial problems. He even said he had done this before with other women. He married them, took their money, and then left. He looked up for a second and said, "But with you, Samantha, it was different. I really felt something for you." This lie hurt more than the others. My world did not just shake, it fell apart completely. Everything Samuel had built around me, everything I believed, was a lie. My marriage was not real. My husband was not my husband. He was a man who planned to trick me. He used me for my money. He had another wife and a son. He was a criminal. He was a conman and a bigamist. He married 2 women at the same time. My heart was not just broken, it was destroyed. The truth was not just bad, it was the most terrible thing I had ever heard. It was the end of my simple life. 7, my heart is broken. When Samuel told me the terrible truth, I felt a sharp pain deep inside my chest. My whole world seemed to fall apart. My heart was not just broken, it felt like dust. I was filled with anger, but also a deep, heavy sadness. I shouted at Samuel. I told him to get out of my house immediately. I watched him leave, taking a few things with him. As soon as the door closed, I collapsed. I started to scream and cry with all my strength. I cried for many hours, maybe even days. I could not eat, I could not sleep. I felt like the most foolish person in the world. How could I have been so blind? How did I not see the signs? The shame was terrible. My happy marriage, my future, everything I believed in was a lie. Samuel was a professional liar, and I had given him everything. I felt completely empty and broken. I called my best friend, Chloe. My voice was weak from crying. Chloe understood immediately. She came to my house very quickly. She did not try to tell me what to do. She just sat with me and held me tight. Her presence was a small comfort in the darkness. Slowly, the intense crying stopped. A hard anger started to grow inside me. Samuel needed to be stopped. He had hurt me and taken my money. He had built his life on lies. I wanted him to face the law. I wanted justice for what he had done. Chloe helped me find my strength. She said, "Samantha, we must go to the police." I was afraid, but I knew it was the right step. The next day, Chloe went with me to the police station. Talking about everything was very difficult. My voice shook as I told the police about meeting Samuel, our quick wedding, his strange behavior, the money he took, the anonymous letter, and the photos of Isabella and the child. I told them he confessed he was already married and used me for my money. The police were kind and listened carefully. They said they would start an investigation right away. They needed to find Samuel and also speak with Isabella. Later, the police contacted Isabella. I learned something that added to my sadness, but also helped me feel less alone. Isabella had no idea about me or any other women. Samuel had lied to her just as much as he lied to me. She was also a victim of his terrible deception. Knowing she was also hurt by him made my own pain feel less like a personal failure and more like being caught in a cruel trap he set for many. My story might become public. It might be in the local news. This thought makes me feel very embarrassed, but I know it is important for other women to hear. It is a warning. The police found Samuel. He was arrested for bigamy and fraud. He was finally stopped. My heart was still deeply wounded, but seeing him arrested felt like the first small step towards healing and rebuilding my life. 8. I learn a lesson. My marriage to Samuel ended. It was not a divorce. It was an annulment. This means the marriage was never legal from the start because he was already married to Isabella. My name was never truly Mrs. Samantha Samuel's last name. It was a fake marriage. I had no money left. Samuel took everything. I had to leave my home. I moved to a smaller apartment. It was a difficult time. I felt lost and empty, but something inside me changed. I am not the same girl I was before. I was too trusting, too quick to believe in a dream. I was naive. Now I feel older and different. I learned many lessons. The most important lesson is that love should not happen too fast. You need time to know a person, really know them. If something feels too perfect, like a dream, maybe it is not real. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is. I also learned to listen. I did not listen to my best friend, Chloe. She told me to be careful. I did not listen to my own feelings, the small worries in my stomach. I wanted to believe Samuel's lies more than the truth I felt. My story is a warning for other women and maybe for men too. Protect your heart. Do not give it away too fast. Protect your money. Do not give it to someone you do not know well. Take your time. Learn about the person before you give them your life. I am sad about what happened. It was a very hard lesson, but I am also stronger now. Samuel took my money and my trust, but he will not take my future. I will rebuild my life. It will take time. It will be slow, but I will do it carefully this time. I started a new job. It is a simple job, but it is mine. I spend a lot of time with Chloe. She is a true friend. Maybe one day I will trust someone again, but that day is far away now. It will take a long, long time. I often sit by my window. I look outside and think about the future. I am sadder because of what happened, but I am also wiser. I learned a big lesson about life and about people.